Tinian is where we delivered the bomb, which we didn't know what we were carrying, didn't know why we were having the speed run. They had put this box aboard, and I leaned up against the box. They put it on the main deck, and it was under Marine guard.
If they'd known the truth, chances are they would have been terrified. But in late July of 1945, the only option for the men aboard the USS Indianapolis was to guess at the mystery cargo.
The best that we could figure out was that it probably was a big box of scented toilet paper for MacArthur, General MacArthur. that was as good a scuttlebutt as we could find.
But the cargo proved to be no laughing matter. It was, in fact, the most devastating weapon the planet had ever seen. But as they headed back to sea, the Indianapolis crew still didn't know what they had delivered. All they knew is that they were now under attack.
And I saw water, debris, flame, fire, and everything. And just as I started to get up, another one hit.
They were torpedoes from this Japanese sub.
Pitch dark. You could hear screaming.
1,200 men would then make a mad dash to try and make it overboard, but about 300 of them never even made it on deck. They drowned within 12 minutes of the original explosion.
And for those who did get off the ship alive, the ordeal was just beginning. They would spend the next 5 days floating out in the Pacific Ocean, and the only thing searching for them were the sharks.
Men began to die. Sharks began to come. And you'd see those things circle and circle and circle the group. You see the old eyes of those sharks just roll. And then directly like lightning, they'd come up and take somebody.
Some of the men couldn't take it. They deliberately untied their life vest and quietly sank to their death. After 5 days, the rescue planes did arrive, but by then the death toll had topped 900. More than 75% of the original crew was gone. And that is why the road back to the Indianapolis has remained so quiet, with survivors like Lowell Cox keeping the stories under lock and key for more than 50 years.
But every night you'd dream. You'd have bad dreams, and you'd wake up, and I still have dreams.
So earlier this year, Cox left his quiet little ranch north of San Antonio and headed back to the Pacific to change the pictures which had dominated most of his adult life. He and a handful of survivors wanted to find their lost ship. They wanted to clear the name of their captain, who had been court-martialed because of the tragedy and later committed suicide. But most of all, they wanted to say goodbye to their friends.
The trip brought back memories, and painful memories, but we did all we know that we can do by dropping the stone and giving them a final resting place there.
But of course, doing all they can is nothing new for these men. That's come naturally to them for more than half a century. David Hebert, Eyewitness News.